This right here is the brand new Galaxy S25, and while it brings subtle design shifts from the S24, there are more intricate changes beneath the surface. And that got me thinking about compact phones and how much they actually matter. So let's put it to the test by comparing it to the Google Pixel 9, often considered the underdog of the industry, if you will. Now, both are among the best Android phones out right now in 2025, but which one stands out? Be sure to give this video a like or a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We are so close to 30,000 subs, and as you can see, this is a new recording space. I just moved to the city of Toronto, and let's just say this is a goal that I have been working towards for the last 2 years, if I remember. So you're going to be seeing more of this space than the last one, and if you do want to see a tour of the apartment, I definitely can do that. Just let me know down in the comments, or you can hit me up on my socials, all that good stuff. So for the first time in my new place, hey guys, my name is Coinsola, but you can call me KJ, and my preference for a phone changes over time, and the catalyst for that switch or that shift could be anything. It could be design, it could be software, the camera, or even the battery life. The point is, I've used both of these phones in different moods and scenarios, which gives me some sort of a unique perspective. So let's start with the design. At first glance, the Galaxy S25 looks like a rebranded S24 or even the S23. You also have new colors, rounded corners instead of a square frame. There's no real difference, if that makes sense. But if we're being technical, the S25 is lighter than the S24, which weighs 15 grams less. And Samsung is clearly prioritizing lightweight phones as we move forward. But there's a hot take that happened a couple days ago. Does this phone look like the iPhone? So on the streets of Toronto, people asked me when Apple decided to make a phone with a hole punch cutout. I found that hilarious, by the way, but what do you guys think? I thought I should address it. I personally don't think so, but what do you guys think? Now, to be fair, phone designs have remained pretty consistent over the last few years, but when it comes to Google and the Pixel 9, they take a slightly different approach. So the Pixel 9 sticks to its design identity, but small tweaks every now and then just to keep it fresh. One thing I hope Google changes with the Pixel 10 is the glossy back. The Pixel 9 Pro has a smoother finish, so here's a little bit of hope. Now, the sides are aluminum from edge to edge, and it actually weighs more than the Galaxy S25. Now, at the bottom, you get the usual USB Type-C port, stereo speakers, and all the essentials. For me, how a phone feels without a case is a big factor. And honestly, the S25's sharper edges start to bug me after a while. I always end up putting a case on it just to make it feel comfortable, and the Pixel 9 on the other hand feels a lot more solid in my hand. Maybe that's because it weighs more, I'm not really sure, but in terms of design and form factor, I will pick the Pixel 9. However, with this display, it's a different story. Samsung rarely makes compromises when it comes to their displays, and that trend continues with the S25. We have a 6.2-inch dynamic AMOLED panel with a 120Hz refresh rate, vision booster to enhance brightness in different lighting conditions. Honestly, I expected an upgrade from the S24, not exactly the same thing, but just give me something different. Yes, the S25 is a great screen, but it feels like Samsung is holding back rather than pushing the limits for what a base phone should have. The Pixel 9, on the other hand, has a 6.3-inch display with a 20:9 aspect ratio and peak brightness of 2700 nits that is higher than the iPhone 16, the S25, and even the S25 Ultra. And this kind of sounds like an easy win, right? But not quite. Now, while it does have a 120Hz refresh rate, it lacks an LTPO panel, which means it can't dynamically adjust its refresh rate as efficiently as the S25. In 2023, that might have been excusable, but in 2025, I think it is a big miss. Samsung recognized this and added LTPO tech to both the S24 and the S25. Meanwhile, if you look at Apple, the iPhone 16 or even the 16 Plus doesn't have a refresh rates, doesn't have LTPO, doesn't have all that good stuff. But if you're competing in the Android market, you don't want to follow Apple's lead at all. So which display is better? And honestly, both have their strengths. If you care more of HDR content and max brightness, I think the Pixel 9 is a solid pick. But for everyday use, both are equally solid. Let's call this round a tie. So when it comes to AI, you either hate it or you love it. But in Samsung's case, I think they are finally embracing what AI can do for them. So let's address this elephant in the room. There's been a lot of debates about whether Samsung is copying Google or, collaborating with them. And in a world where every tech company is borrowing different ideas from one another, I don't think it actually matters. Google is far ahead in the AI innovation game, so it only makes sense that Samsung will copy or follow their lead in some cases. And I also think Samsung is collaborating with them, so they're doing both. Take the S25's new call note feature, for example. It's essentially the Pixel's call assist, allowing you to record, translate, and then summarize phone calls. Then there's Best Face, which works like Google's Best Take. And I've always liked Best Take personally because it actually has real world usefulness. And let's be honest, it's almost impossible to get a good group picture at once. But when you analyze multiple pictures and then swap out the best expressions, I think this is where Best Face or even Best Take makes this worthwhile. Samsung also introduced other AI-powered tools like your audio eraser, which removes background noise from your videos. You also have Draw Assist, which turns sketches into images, and Auto Trim, which automatically cuts out redundant footage from your videos. Interestingly, Auto Trim is the only AI feature that is exclusive to the S25. The Pixel doesn't have it yet, but I expect to see it very soon. That said, Google still has some exclusive AI features up its sleeve, like the Pixel Screenshots, which expands what you do with your screenshots in a practical way. But even at that, I think Samsung is pushing a different narrative, which is AI plus power. Because with the Snapdragon 8 Elite chip inside the S25, this enables a lot of the AI features to run directly on the phone, and not like the Pixel 9 that uses more or less a cloud-based processing to actually have all these AI features, because the Tensor G4 is not really up to par with the 8 Elite. I know in the past I've said Google should keep working on Tensor, making it better, but now that they've kind of nailed the hardware, I think they should go back to Snapdragon because that'll make the Pixel very competitive. But for now, I don't think that would happen. And with the battery life, the S25 sticks with the same 4,000. Welcome to the city. The S25 sticks with the same 4,000 mAh of battery as the S24, while the Pixel 9 comes in with a clear advantage of 4,700 mAh, and I think that is a significant difference on paper. And since the S25 is still new and running a different processor from the S24, I can't say for sure how the battery life will be in the long term. But what I do know is that my Pixel 9's battery has actually improved over time, lasting longer than it did in its first few months. I don't expect a massive gap in battery performance between these two, especially since they both support similar fast charging speeds. However, based on capacity alone, the Pixel 9 is likely to outlast the S25. So who wins this round for performance, battery, and AI? Now, while the Pixel 9 still has a unique or some unique AI features, I think the S25 has made bigger strides, offers better performance, and runs many of these features locally. This one goes to the Samsung S25. And if you're still watching, a sub to the channel will go a long way in helping me reach my goal of 30,000 subs. So like this video, share it, and let's get there quicker. So with every new phone, we have to talk about the camera. And when it comes to the S25, well, there's almost no difference from the S24. You have the same sensor, same specs. So naturally, you're going to expect the same picture quality. And for the most part, that is exactly what you get. The selfie camera, however, is where things get interesting because the S25 does a great job in capturing detail and colors, but when it comes to darker skin tones, it still struggles with accurate processing. The Pixel 9, on the other hand, benefits from Google's True Tone technology, which delivers a more natural and accurate representation of skin tones, at least in my experience. Of course, some people will prefer Samsung's picture processing, and I think that's fair, but at the end of the day, camera preference is really subjective. Daylight pictures on both phones look good, they're sharp, they're punchy, and with solid dynamic range. Samsung leans heavily into saturation, making colors pop more than usual, and if you prefer vibrant, ready-to-post pictures without editing, then the S25 is the better pick. But if you want more of a natural look with finer details, then the Pixel 9 is the way to go. And when it comes to zoom, the S25 has a clear edge because the Pixel 9 lacks a dedicated telephoto lens, so once you start zooming in beyond 5x, Samsung pulls ahead in sharpness and detail. The ultra-wide cameras are pretty similar, though Samsung's tendency to boost colors makes it look a lot more dramatic. And for video, the Pixel 9 shoots up to 4K with 10-bit HDR, while the S25 pushes all the way to 8K. Technically, that makes Samsung the better video shooter, but in real world use, I can't tell the difference between 8K and 4K because my display is not an 8K display. But what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments. I think overall both phones are phenomenal camera systems, just with different approaches, and if I had to pick one purely to take pictures with, it'll be the Pixel 9, but if I had to do video, it'll be the S25. So that is my choice. And at the end of the day, both the Galaxy S25 and the Pixel 9 are top tier smartphones. Both serve different kinds of users, and if you want the best display, the best powerful AI features, and great video, I think the S25 is the way to go. But if you prefer a cleaner software, superior photography, feature drop updates with better battery life, then I think the Pixel 9 is the better fit. The best phone isn't about the best specs, it's about what works best for you and your everyday life. So let me know down in the comments, would you take the S25 or would you buy the Pixel 9? Comment down below again and let me know. If you enjoyed this comparison, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel as this gets me closer to my goal of 30,000 subs. Thank you guys for watching again. My name is KJ and I'll catch you guys in the next one.